What's up, vinyl community? It's Steve from Steve Spins Records, and today we're going to look at the August release of a Tone Poet series, McCoy Tyner's Expansions. So, in August, the Tone Poet series came out, and alongside Sonny Clark's My Conception, McCoy Tyner's Expansions came out. So, today we're going to take a look at what came in the package. I'll tell you a little bit about the album itself, the tracks, as well as the band members that were on the album, and give you a little bit of a feel of who might enjoy this music and whether or not it's worth it for the price of the record. So, first things first, let's get opening the actual package here. I've already popped off the top here. Again, you can see the Tone Poet hype sticker on there. You've got master from the original analog tapes, recorded by Rudy Van Gelder Studios in New Jersey. Reissue supervised by Joe Harley, mastered by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio, and pressed at RTI on 180 gram vinyl. So I'll typically just re-sleeve this in a different poly sleeve, but you got a nice cover here, picture of McCoy Tyner right there. Let's see, it was produced by Duke Pearson, the art direction and design was from Frank Ghana, so that's all we know about the art. I'm trying to see if I can find the cover, who did the cover on it, but I can't, but that's a nice front side there, and on the back you've got the track listing, the times, the band, and then a nice write-up from Thornton Smith on the back, as well as all the various Blue Note signatures, and it's, pretty sturdy cardboard, which is great to see. Then getting into the inner part of the record, it is not a gatefold. It comes not in a MoFi sleeve, but in kind of this plastic sleeve instead, and then, of course, you've got the classic Blue Note label right there. So, a little bit about the album. It was recorded in August 1968. It is McCoy Tyner's 10th album. At this point, he had made his split from John Coltrane. So, McCoy Tyner is a Philadelphia pianist and a very famous jazz pianist. So, a lot of great piano work on this album. And in 68, he had split from Coltrane at the end of 65 and had produced some of his work with Blue Note. So that's where you also see things like The Real McCoy, which is a Blue Note reissue, and things like that. And so he's starting his own career. He ended up living until he was 80, I think, and ended up passing away in the spring of 2020. So had a great long life as a jazz musician. He was a 5-time Grammy winner, an NEA Jazz Master, National Endowment of the Arts Jazz Master, and just an amazing influence on the piano and jazz scene. Had a lot of influences in modern jazz piano, people like Chick Corea, things like that. I'll also read off the personnel on this album, just so you have that as well. So it's Woody Shaw on trumpet, Gary Bartz on alto saxophone and wooden flute. Then you got Wayne Shorter, who you've seen on things like Etc. A great saxophone player. He's playing tenor sax, as well as clarinet, so showing his range and versatility as a musician. You've got Ron Carter on cello, and I think there was just a reissue of a Ron Carter album as well. So if you're into cello music, definitely check out Ron Carter. You got McCoy Tyner on piano, Herbie Lewis on bass, Freddie Waits on drums. They were playing the wooden flute and the clarinet on the Song of Happiness. So really, really nice packaging. It's not a gatefold. There probably wasn't any photos of the actual recording of the music to necessarily talk about inside the gatefold, so they elected to just go with the single sleeve version. But in getting through the songs, on side one you've got Vision, which is high energy. It turns out it's actually in E flat minor, so typically when you think of keys of music, E flat minor isn't one of the more exciting keys, but he did a really, really great job in making it feel very punchy, very lively, very upbeat. I think it would be an interesting song to walk around a city while listening to, just because it sounds very hustle and bustle, and it's still got a little bit of the underbeat that's always happening that I feel like is something that happens when you're in a city. And then it gets into a weird place once it gets a little bit spooky in the middle of it. It's 12 minutes long, so that's part of it, but it gets a little spooky at one point with Ron Carter on the cello making some funky noise himself. Then rounding out side one, you've got the Song of Happiness, which had a lot of influences from McCoy Tyner's trip to Asia and Japan, I think specifically They said this song is, a lot about, they describe it as serenity, peace, and contemplation prevailed, and the Japanese culture had a positive and lasting effect. So that was from McCoy Tyner himself on that particular track, The Song of Happiness. It is a little bit more laid back. It's a little bit more contemplative, unless you want to, kind of think for a little bit or meditate and hang out for a bit. Then on the B-side, you've got a song called Smitty's Place, which is up-tempo, very much perpetual motion, a lot of duets, a lot of, it feels like the musicians are having fun with each other on the track itself, which is great. And then you've got Parasina, I think I'm saying that right, Parasina, P-E-R-E-S-I-N-A, which is 10 minutes and 20 seconds long, 3/4 tempo, so 3/4 tempo, so it feels a little bit, waltzier a little bit. And it has been described as velvety smooth, so I think that's an appropriate adjective to use for that particular track. And they also say it sounds very similar to a Brazilian love song, right? So I think a lot of it maybe even coming back from the Duke Pearson stuff. If Duke Pearson was the producer on this, maybe he's pulling in some of those Brazilian influences into this music as well, which is really, really cool to see that all happening. And then the last track on the album is a track called I Thought I'd Let You Know, which is a melodic ballad, which is a really nice way to kind of just chill into the finale of this record. So all in all, really, really great record. When it comes to price, it retails for $34.98. I think you can get it from Blue Note at that price. I was able to get it a bit cheaper. I pre-ordered it on Amazon and was able to lock in a price of $21.99. It's 46.5 minutes long, give or take a couple seconds, which puts it out at 47 cents per minute of song on the vinyl. So that is it in a nutshell. It's a really great album. If you like John Coltrane, I think it's a little bit further out than Coltrane and Miles Davis might be. It's pushing a little bit harder. It's pushing a little bit edgier than some of those, what you would call hard bop, post bop type jazz albums. So if you're into that music and you're looking to find a new artist, or if you're looking to look for something else to listen to that is not Miles Davis, John Coltrane, Charles Mingus, this I think would be a great, great pickup, great add to your collection. I feel like Tone Poet does this all the time where you really can't get a bad one. They're all amazing, and they all, because of the depth of the Blue Note catalog, they have the ability to really reach in and find these lesser known gems, put them on a Tone Poet series, give them a proper treatment, give them an all analog mix, give them the right packaging, put them out as part of that series, and get more people interested and more people aware that the music existed and that the art was created by the artist. So kudos to Blue Note and the Tone Poet crew for putting this all together. Very, very well done. I think the only other note that I have on this is that as I was doing some research, I found out that McCoy Tyner was left-handed. So just interesting to think about that in terms of a musician and how they work. I can't personally hear that he plays a stronger bass hand and a, more attacking right hand. Like I can't hear any of that. But if you can, good for you. Kudos on being able to pick that up. I think in September we've got some more Tone Poet series coming out. There is Lee Konitz and Jerry Mulligan, which is Lee Konitz plays with Jerry Mulligan Quartet. I've got an album by Jerry Mulligan. I'll have to check that out to see if I'm interested in that particular release. But the one I am really, really interested in is the Wayne Shorter All-Seeing Eye. That's going to be fantastic. That's coming out in September from the Tone Poet series as well. So if you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching. Please be sure to leave a comment. Let me know if you picked up this Tone Poet or if you picked up the Sonny Clark edition in August and how you like it. Let me know if you have a favorite track on this album or even a favorite McCoy Tyner track in general. And again, thanks for coming to the channel. If you subscribe, you get videos about vinyl records, obviously, where we talk about the album itself, the music, who might want to listen to it, and go through and try to do it all in one take. So that way it's a little bit more fun for me to try to make, a little bit more challenging, and a little bit more fun for you to watch as well going through. So just double checking the notes here. I think I hit it all. Very good. So thanks again for watching. I'm Steve from Steve Spins Records, signing off.